Amen. As a matter of fact, the only prerequisite for failure is being born. Because when you're born into failure. And then you live out, you act out the failure that you were born in. I began to think about it. Had not sin entered into the world through disobedience, Adam and Eve would have lived a life of success, never failing at anything. Never failing at nothing. Can you imagine to live and never fail at nothing? That's what would have happened had not disobedience entered in to the world. Sin entered in on the back of disobedience. God told them what not to do, and they did what he told them what not to do, and it could have been stopped if Adam had told his wife, baby, don't do that. God told us not to do that, and I'm not going to stand here and look at you doing what God told us not to do. If Adam had had a backbone, I want you to know, husbands, all husbands, raise your hand. Husbands, all aspiring husbands, raise your hand. Yeah. I want you to know, husbands and aspiring husbands, it takes a backbone to be a husband. It takes a backbone. If you're going to be a yes man, don't get married. You ain't ready for it. It's too much for you. You ain't going to be able to handle it. Your house is just going to be a house. It will not be a home with you saying yes to everything. Even on this Resurrection Sunday, God still holds us responsible husbands for not being yes men, but being husbands. Because Adam was not a husband, we find ourselves born in sin. The writer said, shapen in iniquity. All that came because of sin. And sin entered in by disobedience. And because of disobedience, now we find ourselves needing victory. But victory is an indication of failure. The cross is a reminder of failure. Somebody failed. And everybody else now has received the repercussions of that failure. Like a tidal wave, ripple waves, just spread it on out. When failure entered into the world, it touched everybody. Every unborn child is now born a sinner, in need of salvation because of failure. We now need victory. If you live, you're going to fail. You're going to fail. You're going to fail, whether it be academically. You're going to fail at something. You're going to fail. You can fail academically. Might not make the grades. Have you ever studied for a test? Amen. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Studied for, burnt the midnight oil, knew you had that information cold. Teacher gave you your paper and you walking up there with your chest puffed out. You know you aced that. And wind up with a 95. When you knew you had 100. And the first thing come to your mind, what's this? You need to check my paper over here. In your humanity, in your humanity, in our humanity, we are candidates for failure. If somebody's sitting here saying, well, I've never failed at anything, you just failed. Amen. Anybody sitting here saying, I've always accomplished everything that I wanted to. I've always accomplished the grades. I've always been good at everything that I've done. You just fail. You just fail because you lied.